The story begins with a boy named Henry Turner. He's now 12 years old and has only one goal in his life: to break the curse that binds his father, Will Turner, to the Flying Dutchman. Because of this curse, Will can only set foot on land once every 10 years. But Henry believes he has found a way to break it. One night, he sails to a place deep in the ocean where he believes the Flying Dutchman surfaces. As the tides rage and the sea swirls violently, the ship rises from the depths. There, Henry meets his father Will. But instead of joy, Will is concerned. He warns Henry that he should not have come. This ship is cursed and it's dangerous. But Henry insists. He says that he has discovered a way to break the curse. He speaks of a powerful object called the Trident of Poseidon. This mystical weapon, forged by the sea god Poseidon himself, has the power to destroy every curse of the sea. If Henry finds it, he can free his father forever. Will is skeptical and tells his son that no one has ever been able to find the trident. But Henry is determined. Before he's sent back to the surface, Will gives him a small medallion as a token and tells him to stay away from this life. Years pass. Henry grows up and joins the Royal Navy of England. During one mission, he's aboard a ship that is chasing down pirates. Suddenly, Henry notices that they are sailing toward the Devil's Triangle, a cursed area of the sea from which no ship has ever returned. Henry warns the captain, telling him they're headed the wrong way. But the captain doesn't believe him and orders that Henry be locked up. The ship sails into the Devil's Triangle. The fog thickens. From the shadows, a wrecked ghost ship appears. It's the Silent Mary, the ship of the undead Captain Salazar. Salazar and his ghostly crew slaughter everyone on board, leaving only Henry alive. Salazar approaches him and says, "I always leave one man alive to tell the tale." He asks Henry, "Do you know Jack Sparrow?" Henry answers, "No," but Salazar leaves him alive anyway, demanding that he find Jack Sparrow for him. Because the day Salazar finds Jack will be the day of vengeance. Elsewhere, on the island of St. Martin, a young woman named Karina Smith is shown imprisoned in a cell. She's accused of being a witch because of her knowledge of astronomy. She's sentenced to death. But Karina is no witch. She's a brilliant scientist and an astronomer. She manages to escape from prison just in time. Meanwhile, in the town square, a grand bank is being shown off by its proud manager. He boasts that their vault is impossible to break into. But to everyone's surprise, when the vault is opened, Jack Sparrow is found inside, drunk and passed out. He was there to rob the bank. Jack's crew is already outside, ready to pull the vault out using ropes and horses. But things go hilariously wrong. The vault doesn't come out alone. The entire building is dragged through the town. Jack climbs out and flees through a nearby shop, where he meets Karina. She too is escaping. Jack tricks her and leaves her behind to be captured by the soldiers. Meanwhile, he rejoins his crew and opens the vault. But to his dismay, it's empty. All the gold has fallen out during the chaotic escape. His crew is furious. They now have no gold, no ship, and no food. They abandon Jack. He even shows them the Black Pearl, his legendary ship, which is still trapped in a bottle due to a past curse. But no one is impressed. Jack is left alone. Henry, now arrested and imprisoned in a naval hospital, is shown in chains. He had floated to shore clinging to a piece of wood. The British soldiers accuse him of treason, claiming he betrayed his fellow sailors. But Henry insists he was trying to stop them from entering the Devil's Triangle. Karina, in disguise, visits Henry in prison. She has heard rumors about a young man talking about the Trident of Poseidon. She shows him her father's diary, which contains a map no one has ever been able to read. But she believes she can, because the secret lies in the stars. She tells Henry, "If we want to find the trident, we have to leave tonight." Henry agrees. Meanwhile, Jack is desperate. He goes to a bar and tries to trade his magical compass for a bottle of rum. The compass, which has guided him his entire life, shows the direction to whatever he desires most. But once Jack gives it away, something terrible happens. Because Jack has betrayed the compass, the curse it held back is released. In the Devil's Triangle, the Silent Mary breaks free. Captain Salazar and his undead crew are now free to roam the oceans once again. Back in St. Martin, Jack and Karina are both captured and sentenced to death. Karina for being a witch, and Jack for his many crimes. But at the last moment, Henry Turner and Jack's old crew arrive and rescue them both. The three of them escape on a small, broken-down ship. Together, they now have one goal: to find the Trident of Poseidon. During their journey, Henry reveals that Salazar is after Jack. Jack realizes the undead captain has returned, and remembers why. Years ago, Salazar was a Spanish naval officer. He had sworn to eliminate every pirate from the seas after his father was killed by them. Salazar became infamous, sinking countless pirate ships. He almost wiped them out completely. But one day, a young Jack Sparrow, just a boy at the time, tricked Salazar. As Salazar's ship chased Jack's vessel toward the Devil's Triangle, Jack released his ship's anchor at the last second, causing Salazar's ship to veer into the rocks and get trapped in the cursed waters. Now Salazar is back and wants revenge. He no longer needs the compass. He only wants Jack Sparrow. Jack, Karina, and Henry continue their journey, but the British Navy is also after them. They sail toward an island known as Hangman's Bay. But Salazar sends his ghost sharks after them. The creatures are horrifying, zombie sharks with glowing eyes. The trio barely makes it to the island, where they are captured by a pirate named Captain Barbassa. Barbassa has grown rich and powerful over the years. He keeps the pearl in a bottle as well. When Salazar confronts him, demanding Jack Sparrow, Barbassa makes a deal. He will lead Salazar to Jack in exchange for keeping his life. As Barbassa's crew sails toward the Trident, he examines Karina's diary. He notices a ruby on the cover and becomes quiet. He asks Karina, "Where did you get this?" She replies, "It belonged to my father. It's the only thing he left me." Barbassa realizes that Karina is his daughter, but he says nothing. Meanwhile, Jack overhears this entire conversation and now knows Karina's true identity. As the black pearl slices through the waves, its sails billowing with ocean wind, Barbassa grows more watchful of Karina. The way she studies the stars and deciphers the secrets in her father's journal makes him feel something he hasn't in years: pride. Yet he hides the truth that he is her father, afraid of what she might think if she knew her bloodline came from a pirate. Meanwhile, Jack Sparrow, though surrounded by allies, begins to feel the growing tension. His reputation may have faded, but danger still chases him. He knows Salazar is not far behind, and worse, Salazar no longer follows the rules of death. Karina finally cracks the celestial mystery within her father's diary. The map isn't written in ink, but in starlight. The island they seek is not just marked on paper, but on the sky itself, mirrored through the sea. She realizes that they need to arrive at a certain point, at a certain time, when the constellations above will match the reflection below. As they reach the island at the break of dawn, the crew watches in awe as the early sunlight reveals a dazzling phenomenon. Thousands of crystal-like stones glimmer across the island's surface, mimicking the night sky. Karina quickly identifies the alignment and races to a formation in the center. One stone is missing a fragment, an empty notch. She pulls the ruby from her journal and gently places it in the notch. Suddenly, light bursts from the stone structure and shoots into the sea. The waters groan and churn before parting, splitting the ocean in two. A massive pathway opens beneath the waves, revealing a long-forgotten trench of ruins and coral. The black pearl anchors nearby. Jack, Karina, Henry, and Barbassa prepare to descend. Below the ocean lies the Trident of Poseidon, the object of every sailor's myth, every pirate's dream. The Trident, standing tall among coral-covered ruins, pulses with power. It glows blue, gold, and green, like the living sea itself. As they near it, danger strikes. From the shadows, Salazar's ghost crew appears, but now they are not ghosts. The destruction of the Devil's Triangle's boundary and the shattering of the compass's spell have made them mortal, yet they still fight like spirits, cold and ruthless. Jack, sword in hand, fends off the attackers. Karina rushes to the Trident, while Henry tries to guard her. But in a shocking moment, Salazar, unable to step on land, possesses Henry's body. His voice becomes twisted, his movements unnatural. Through Henry's possessed body, Salazar launches a brutal assault. Karina is knocked down. Jack is wounded. The trident clatters across the stone ground. As Salazar reaches for it, something flickers in Henry's eyes. His spirit resists. With all his will, Henry fights back. Suddenly, Salazar's spirit is expelled, and he materializes in his true form. He picks up the trident and raises it, declaring his final revenge. But then Karina and Henry realize the truth. The trident doesn't just hold power, it is power. It anchors every curse, every myth, every supernatural force of the sea. To end it all, it must be destroyed. Henry grabs Jack's sword and, with all his might, shatters the trident. Time freezes. A tidal shockwave pulses outward in glowing rings. The ocean seems to sigh. Every cursed being, the ghost sailors, the haunted ships, the remnants of ancient sea magic, all begin to fade or return to their human forms. Salazar and his men scream as their ghostly features vanish. Their faces become pale, real, mortal. But now the ocean begins to collapse. The parted sea starts folding back in, roaring with primal force. A desperate escape begins. Barbassa throws a rope from the ship. One by one, they climb out, Jack, Henry, and finally Karina. But as Karina rises, Salazar, now fully human but furious, leaps from a ledge with his sword. Barbassa jumps. Mid-air, he drives his sword into Salazar, holding on to him as they plunge into the crashing sea. It's a sacrifice. As they fall into the abyss, Karina screams. Her eyes widen in shock, then realization. On Barbassa's arm, just before he vanishes under the waves, she sees it, her father's star tattoo. The very same design from her journal. She gasps. He was my father. The sea seals shut behind them. Silence. The next morning, calm returns to the island shore. The sun rises gently. Birds fly above, and the waves kiss the rocks. Henry stands beside Karina. She's still in shock, holding the journal close to her chest. Jack walks up quietly, placing his iconic hat back on his head. He was a good man, Jack says softly. One of the best pirates I ever knew. In the distance, the Flying Dutchman appears on the horizon, emerging from the water like a legend come to life. But it is no longer cursed. Its hull is clean. Its sails blow with freedom. Henry walks forward. Will Turner appears on the deck. Father and son stare at each other for a moment, then rush into an embrace. Will is finally free. The curse is broken. Behind him, Elizabeth Swan appears. She runs forward and wraps her arms around Will. Their family is whole again. Henry pulls out the medallion his father gave him years ago and returns it. This belongs to you, he says. Will smiles, proud of his son. Elsewhere, Jack stands at a cliff's edge, watching them from afar. He smiles faintly, knowing he had a part in this reunion. The Black Pearl waits behind him. Gibbs approaches and nods. She's yours again, Captain. Jack steps aboard the Pearl. With a renewed sense of pride and freedom, he takes the wheel. Bring me that horizon, he says. The ship sails into the distance, its black sails fluttering like a shadow in the sun.